My name is Zeke Moores. I'm a contemporary sculptor in Canada, basically working primarily in sculpture. Currently, I'm living in Windsor, Ontario. I'm from Newfoundland. Most of my work deals with everyday objects and common things that are surrounding us in the urban landscape. Generally, what I do is I try to pull out overlooked items that I think the general public kind of takes for granted sometimes. And I try to highlight those somehow, or I try to use that object as a catalyst for discussion. So generally, if I'm doing something like the dumpster, which I'm showing here at Kafka, what I'm really talking about when I show the work is the idea of what the dumpster represents in our society, the idea of some kind of hierarchical system of objects and why we relate to objects in a different way, and really trying to build on some kind of language and how I use sculpture as a language and how people interact with the objects around us. So, if you take something like a bronze dumpster and transcribe it into a semi-precious material like bronze, all of a sudden it becomes a launching point for politics. It becomes, very political. It becomes a very simple reference to value. It, immediately becomes a conversation piece that gets a conversation started around poignant issues right now. So for me, it's about doing that. It's about engaging the public, and showing the work at things like Kafka is a way to engage the public for me. I think Kafka is an important public art event that really does make the work accessible to the general public, getting it outside of the gallery and opening it up to the everyday passerby, the person that doesn't necessarily go to the gallery every day. So for me, I like to show in things like this, right? Kafka for me is a really great testing ground for work as well, because so many times we just make work as artists for other artists, for curators, theorists, but in this kind of situation, your everyday average Joe, man off the street is going to walk up and tell you what he thinks about it. And for me, that's a really powerful way to receive the kind of feedback of the work. I've shown the dumpster, I think, twice now. I showed it in a Labor Arts Festival in Windsor, and that went over really well. The kind of reactions I get from the dumpster are really mixed. Like I said before, it becomes a hot topic for discussion because it can come off as really political. Now, I know it has political undertones. That's not what I am setting out to do, but I know what I'm doing. But, say somewhere in Windsor, there's a garbage strike when I made it. It had nothing to do, it was just timing. People were outraged by the dumpster sometimes in Windsor because, it's a depressed economy. I'm spending a lot of money on building a dumpster. In the media, it came off like I was throwing money down the drain, taxpayer money being wasted. But, all of those reactions are really positive to me because all of that discussion means people are talking. And that's what I want to get people doing around the work, right? Also, people think it's great because it highlights the issues of waste consumption, production, recycling. So depending on who you are, you bring your own baggage to the work. Everybody has a different kind of take on what it's about. And that's what I like about, leaving it open that way, because for me, the work isn't finished until the viewer finishes it for me, because each viewer is going to finish it in a different way. And that's what I like to see. And those are the reactions I like to get in the gallery and in the public space.